All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome to Accelerated Retirement. Going to be a very bad job scheduling today, so I'm not placing any new trades in AR. I wanted to watch this tech conference, so I'm not sure how this is going to work because I want to listen to this. Maybe if you want to sit here and listen to it, I absolutely have to listen to this. So this was bad scheduling on my part. Had a good swing trade this morning, folks, over in with the Max Afterburner folks, and also good. It's delayed a half an hour. Shocker. Did the Penguin Nadler the Hut get in another accident today? What a disgrace that was yesterday. National embarrassment. The Democrats and how they treated the Attorney General. It's disgusting. They're disgusting people. I just can't. I have zero in common with those people. Reclaim my time. Reclaim my time. Just absolutely insane. I think the Attorney General did a fantastic job composing himself. I would have climbed across that table and throttled half those people. Like I said, good swing trade this morning. So tried to get it pre-market. I bought 4,000 shares of Microsoft. I got it right after the open at 9:32, and then what's that? Half an hour later, 35 minutes later, closed it. What was that? 204.18 minus 203.12. So yeah, nice 4,200, 4,300 profit in 30 some minutes, and was done for the day. Went to the gym, just got back, and now we're doing this. So good, and this is what I told you the other day. This was easy, no skill involved, and take a look at the take a look at the Microsoft chart. So I got filled right there, big pound down, and then massive pump, and I got out right there. I'll take it, man. So again, zero skill. If anybody who tells you, and I'm going to be honest with you, that was on my call this morning. One of the guy briefing today was like, hey, we think Microsoft's going to get a good pop at the open because it ain't under the microscope today. When you say tech CEOs, where's the Microsoft CEO? So they're kind of doing, Microsoft right now is kind of doing the reverse Jeff Bezos, or they're doing what Jeff Bezos used to do, right? 2 years ago, I think it was 2.5 years ago, man. I'm getting old. When the president started ripping in the Bezos and the Washington Post and Amazon and is destroying the post office, he didn't say a word, man. You didn't hear literally a word from the guy. He shrugged his shoulders. Building Amazon Air, building hubs, building Amazon, you name, fill in the blank. He just sat there and went, delete. Now he's sitting here on Zoom, and Microsoft has just kind of turned off their squawk, and they're flying right underneath the radar. So that was a good trade this morning. But it just goes to show you, man, you don't have to be making $4,200, $4,240 in 32 minutes. If I didn't have you guys, I'd be done for the day. I'd be at the beach or going to work out again or going to lunch, nice 2-3 hour lunch with a couple tin sandwiches. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know, because we do some pretty good work over in the Max Afterburner and the regular Afterburner folks as well. And SPX is kind of flying around this. Steve, I think I just answered that, right? My criteria for getting into that trade was the briefer this morning. He's like, we believe Microsoft's going to have a good bounce at the open because the other tech, because they're not getting, Microsoft ain't getting excoriated today. So the guys that I talked to, they bought a lot of Microsoft. I bought it, got out, and went to Lifetime Fitness. That's about what I did. So Rick, I think I answered that as well. What do I do to determine timing? So got filled right there. Where's 932? Right here, got filled. I ignored that implosion. This is all static, right? I just knew it was I didn't know, but I had a pretty educated guess that we were going to see a nice pop. So as this velocity started taking off, I'm like, the second it started to peter out, I'm like, done. Even if it like petered out for a second, because it petered out, I got out. And then I saw this green right here. I'm not the type of guy that goes, oh my God, if it goes higher. I'm like, I was getting my keys and my wallet and leaving. So and then it's kind of done this the rest of the day. So again, the first half an hour, or hour, we call amateur hour. But if you're going to have movements like that, dude, be a remora fish underneath the shark. If something's going to be pushed around for a little bit, it takes zero skill to do this. I've seen people out there pushing like $10,000 swing trading courses. I'm like, I kind of figured this out on my own. I haven't spent a nickel. Clements, no, it's not a public group. It's Max Afterburner. This is a Max Afterburner. This is a private group. This is a self-directed investment squadron. It's called Max Afterburner. There's 80 people in there right now, and then all the lifetime members get automatic access into this is called Afterburner, regular Afterburner. So this is Max, and this is Afterburner. And I threw this trade over the fence as well, right here. So hey, here's what I'm doing, Microsoft, and then I'm in. Nice Microsoft turn out, Microsoft $4,000 off to the gym. So if you're interested in either one of those services, you can shoot me an email, whiz at Top Gun Options. Oh, the other brief? No. It's a group. It's a mastermind group. There's there's guys and gals from a couple of the big houses. There's large family office folks on this call, a bunch of hedge fund dudes, and some very, very, very high net wealth people. And we have a morning call. We have an afternoon call too. It's kind of petered off because, to be honest with you, the afternoons are weird trading. Even some of these guys that are managing billions of dollars are trying to push this stuff around, and it ain't working. So the last, even yesterday, where's SPX? The last hour of trading is insanity. Look at this. Look at literally 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. You see this right here? 3 o'clock, 1500. I love the military time. Bam. I mean, and look at, I've left these levels up for you to look at here. Where to close? Right at where I showed you yesterday. Broke through this resistance here, and then this was kind of this resistance here. Now look at this. So if we break below this one right here, what's that 32, can't see, 3220, 3240, keep an eye on these things. So right now, I'd probably wait a half a second, and then I'd buy a shit pot of SPX puts or do a at the money bear call spread right now. Boom. But we're in accelerated retirement, and I wouldn't want to do that because we have other things to talk about. But I'm just giving you a little bit of a background on that stuff. Everybody get the replay from the E-Trade demo. Any questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, is on that. I figured I'd wear my gym clothes since Davey Dave this morning is wearing a leopard print shirt. Guys, and it's whoever was giving me grief the other day about giving him paying attention to him. You have to pay attention to him, folks. The man sat down with the President of the United States last week and interviewed him. Today, he did a pizza review from Hyannisport in flip-flops and a Lakers jersey, or a Celtics jersey. But the dude moves. He potentially can be moving markets. These millions and millions of, day traders who have opened these Robinhood accounts. Folks, you gotta keep. I keep an eye on everybody, man. I keep an eye on. I keep an eye on a lot of things. I'll leave it like that. Yeah, he's wearing his pajamas. Okay, so we're delayed. I'm going to cut this short for when they come on because everybody's got to listen to it. I'm not going to sit here and just kind of do dead air. China not getting any better, actually getting worse. Last week in AR, we talked about FXI and did some good FXI trading of late. We knew that where did I say we'd pull back to? Everybody say it with me. Right here. Where did we pull back to? Right there. So I missed it by 30 cents. Shoot me. So it's on CNBC or Fox Business or Bloomberg. All the business channels will carry the hearings. Nice little bounce today, though, but I'd stay Does anybody see any trend on this chart for FXI? You don't even have to type it. Anybody see that? Anybody see every time it pulls back? Where's it pull back to? That's a 3-month chart, folks. Anybody want to say support with me? Where's it bouncing off today? Right there. Well, yesterday. Okay, so if anything, time to go neutral on this thing. If we get into something really horrific, we talked yesterday about how wars start, diplomatic consulates closing, Chinese relationships at 60-year low. I was watching Midway the other night for like the 900th time, and just we forget, folks. I'm like, my God, we were allies with China. We had Americans in the what was it, the Flying Tigers, man. God, Lieutenant Colonel Doolittle bombed Tokyo and landed, or he bailed out over free China, man. And the Japanese killed millions of Chinamen. They're still talking about this. So what am I getting at? I'm saying that the not so invisible hand of the PBOC has been doing this. They ain't going to let that happen unless something super, super fantastic bad happens. But got some good feedback from people who did the burner trade up here. Bear call spreads, bought puts, good stuff, man. So good looking FXI trade. I'm very happy with our performance trading FXI. I got to be honest with you, just looking at the chart, bull put spread. Oh my God, it sounds like we're all going to die and go to war. It does, but now, for now we're not. Oh, did it? Let me go back real quick. Let's see if I was right. Bam! Look at that. Little bit of a dip underneath it. Look at that big sell order through 32.40. A big pop. So that's awesome. Again, I've been there, man. These dudes, with nicotine stained fingers and coffee and just, sitting over the computers looking like this all day and trying to do this stuff. Wrong. Make a couple grand and split. Make a couple $100, whatever it is, and then leave. It's zero skill. None. Anybody who tells you there's any skill involved in it. I mean, I get it. It's experience. I can look at this stuff and kind of throw a couple lines on and support resistance and, and having been there and knowing how this stuff works, literally, folks, it's almost like, how about the Flyers yesterday, man, beating up on the Penguins? Why'd I bring that up? Because I almost want to hear, and I told you what did I tell you last week, that when we moved our final guys from the floor upstairs to go electronic, we piped in the floor into their speakers to like acclimate them, right? That's what they did with the crowd noise yesterday for the NHL game. It's going to be a big weekend for hockey. So I almost wish that we still had the noise for when you're watching this chart, because you can tell, like on that big down move right there, you would have heard a lot of screaming, right? Or even a big up move. Sometimes you go down to the pits, dudes are like sleeping. They got their feet up, or they're playing a game on their phone, and nothing's going on. And then when something's going, so you'd get a sense for the momentum. It's kind of hard looking at colors and ones and zeros on the screen as opposed to dudes who are hungover screaming at each other. So it's very interesting. That's why I want you to see the pits before they literally are all gone. Now it's delayed until 1 p.m. I could never be, or I could be the president or a congressman. I'd be sitting in my chair right now and be like, what time's the noon brief start? I can't. Donald Trump started off good and now he's awful. I couldn't stand that shit about Obama. It's a 3 o'clock press conference, 6 p.m. He comes strolling out. Hey, what's up, bitches? Trump's starting to get that prima donna thing too. My skin would be melting off my face. I'd have somebody whose only job is to say, you have 15 minutes until your brief, sir. And okay, we're done. Well, Mr. Shut up. We're done. I'm out. It's just unprofessional, man. It's ridiculous. And it's rude to everybody else. Anyway, yeah, the Irishman. I operate on military Lombardi time. If you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. USX, yeah, this is the war headline I told you about. This is the Japanese burning their papers after they bombed Pearl Harbor. A lot of military activity uh, in the South China Sea. If you don't have a visual of the shit show, that's it. Copy and paste this or take a screenshot of this so you know the South China Sea, the Spratly and the Paracel Islands. I sailed through here. We literally on the Abraham Lincoln came through it was beautiful. It's incredible sailing through the Philippines, man. These big, yeah, I mean, like mountains. And you got this aircraft carrier sailing through these like, and just the history of it. Sailing near Iwo Jima or Chichijima, which is where George Bush got shot down. The Japanese commander on Chichijima was a cannibal. Any Americans that he caught, he killed them, cut out their heart, and ate it in front of his men. Thank God for the whatever it was, USS Bowfish or Blowfish or whatever that picked him up, or else he would have been dead and not president. So I've sailed through here and then down through up the Strait of Malacca, around India, which ain't no ally of ours, into the Gulf. Remind me sometime at a live event to tell you about how much India is not a friend of ours when an F-14 hit the back of the Lincoln at night, both fireball, everybody's on fuel and trying to divert into India. Remind me to tell you that story. All right, so there's your shit show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They don't have Japan on here or South Korea. There are 7 countries that want this land. It ain't just them eating squid ink pouches with eyeballs. It's oil, it's nat gas, and food. Even though I'm not a seafood guy. So there you go. Things are getting ugly with China, but who cares? The market will only care when it cares. Let's get an update here. And it sucks that Congress did this. Is it Maxine Waters? Oh God, she makes my skin crawl too. Rather eat seafood. So we got to watch the first hour of the tech CEO hearing, and then guess what happens? Jerome Powell's going to be on. We're going to have like split screen. I've never seen a day like this in a long time. Split screen, tech CEOs, the MAGMs versus Jerome Powell. So we're literally in a holding pattern here, and it's going to be a very, very, very super interesting day. CNBC just when I was grabbing Chow, had a good report on his. So the prepared remarks obviously have gotten out a little bit, and the things that he's going to say sounds pretty good. I mean, so obviously they're all going to try and defend themselves, and then we'll see if anybody lands any punches. I really don't. We will all forget about this tomorrow when Apple and Amazon report earnings. We won't even remember these hearings in the theater. Each day, right? This is why the swing trade. Oh, that's not good for Amazon. Currently, AWS is experiencing technical issues that these guys can't show their charts. That's not good. Amazon in a hearing. That's SPX. Let's go Amazon. So at kind of nice little holding pattern here. This, 3,000 has kind of been the Mason-Dixon line on Amazon. So this is a binary trade, not trade, but it's going to be a binary action this week. Either it rips higher off of 3,000, or we get an implosion kind of back down here. It's only one of two. And again, I don't want to overhype it because a lot of guys I talk to and are trading this are like, everybody shut up about how good it's going to be, because if it's not super fantastic, the thing's going to implode. Kind of like at Microsoft. Even though Microsoft didn't quote implode, it was a beat, and everybody's like, well, it needed to beat more. Okay. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? So we'll see. But it sounds like the tech CEOs are going to hold their own. But again, when you got Maxine Waters, based on Reclaiming My Time and the Democrats just frothing at the mouth yesterday, I thought Attorney General Barr was fantastic. This is called a hearing, right? I thought I was going to be heard. Shut up! I reclaim my time. It was comical. It's like, since when did it become okay to burn down federal courthouses? I mean, the dude just, and the one idiot lady from Georgia, that she's like, you've donated to Republicans over the years. I mean, he's like, you're shocked to learn I'm a Republican. I mean, does everybody remember the only attorney general to ever be cited in contempt of Congress? It was one of the two racist attorney generals under Obama. Holder, the Fast and Furious. Let's give some guns to the drug dealers so we can track where and they just killed a Border Patrol agent with one of the guns we gave them. We want all the info on that. No. Give it to us or we'll hold you in contempt. No. He was awful. And then Loretta Lynch. I'm going to hang out with President Bill Clinton on the tarmac as his wife is under investigation by the FBI. What a disgrace we had for 8 years, man. Barack Hussein Obama was the Manchurian candidate. I can't even believe our country went through that. We had Lando Calrissian as president for 8 years. Nothing but a slick talking black man from Cloud City. It was a disgrace. The president did lay one of these on, executive orders. If we don't, if Congress doesn't do anything, in Washington, it's been all talk and no action for years, and the people of our country are sick and tired of it. The Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everybody went absolutely apeshit yesterday with that video of doctors. I love how the fact checkers on Facebook went to med school for 80 years and have been practicing for years. They deleted that video of the press conference of all those doctors saying there is a treatment for COVID. No, false fact. If only these limousine liberal tech companies could take down child porn off the internet faster than they took that hydroxychloroquine video down. Doesn't that make you wonder a little bit? My Facebook feed was filled with fake news, the fact checkers, and this is false, and everybody's like, oh my God. So we have a bunch of nipple ring, purple hair fact checkers at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, who apparently know more than those doctors who have treated these people. And it was a black doctor giving the brief. Isn't that racist? It's absolutely insane what happened yesterday with that video. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the perfect example of how you didn't even know about it. I mean, hell, people didn't even know about the Chinese seeds. You see what China said today? It's fake news, and nobody's doing that, and that's a lie, and all sorts of stuff. So, I think I posted that as one of my stories yesterday. Oh, everybody see the hockey games yesterday? Did anybody take a knee? Not one person took a knee. Not one. There you go. Imagine if they scrubbed child porn from the internet as fast as they scrubbed that hydroxychloroquine video. That's not a joke. They literally, every tech company, I hope one of the Republicans lights, who would do that? It was Zuckerberg? Yeah. All these fact checkers, man. This was deleted. Your account was given a warning. Science should be debated. It shouldn't be anything else. This was a funny one. Sports fans to continue 24-year-long boycott of the WNBA. You see those dudes last week walk off the court when the national anthem was played? You can't fix stupid. It's disgusting. Okay. So this is my personal account. We already covered Microsoft. I bought some Tesla puts yesterday just because. We talked about this in the primary brief. I'm deploying some ships, and I also bought some Amazon calls. So that's my PA to show you guys that. Let me go over to Susie since we kind of cover Apple and all that stuff over there. I'm actually not, there's a lot of bears running around with Apple. I'm lukewarm to getting out of it. Susie did sell a a covered call. Where is it? Let me open her account. Yeah, it was a good presentation. Yeah, Mike and his team, they do a good thing over at E-Trade. All right, so she is long. Jack did, sold the 390 calls out to Friday. So she's got 1,400 shares of Apple. That's looking okay today. But her cost basis is up at like at 390. So sold the 390s. If there's a big pop out of Apple on earnings and they get called and the shares get called away, fantastic. Get back into it on Monday. Or actually change that, delete that, edit that, cut. I'm not going to get back. She's not going to get back into it on Monday. Period. Done with Apple until the election. How about that? I'm on a no trade Apple till the election unless something big happens, and then I'll pound it into the dirt. I'm not going to. We literally, folks, are we're one breaking news out of the Global Times or the Chinese Foreign Ministry that Apple's booted, and it is absolutely, yeah. So, Tamara, I do not think I would be alive if it wasn't for hydroxychloroquine. Well, there's a firsthand account, for the love of God. Over in the Max Afterburner group, I think one of our docs saved the life of one of our members, Doc Moore, out in Utah. If you're gonna bring them young. So Doc, yeah, so it works. And whoever just said science should be debated among scientists, you put it right through the bullseye. So last week, Susie had an iron condor on MGM that got blown out the bottom. Was not managed properly, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So she got assigned. She got assigned 9,300 shares of MGM because the short put got blown out. So wakes up 9,300 shares. I'm like, that's a lot of shares of MGM, and it actually turned around. So let's take a look at MGM. Again, sometimes it's better be lucky than good. So there's the implosion, and then it bounced up. So how did she manage this? She sold 40. She had a margin call, so sold 4,300 shares of the 9,300 to meet the margin call, and then did what? Sold. She had 5,000 shares left. Sold more or less an at the money calls out to Friday to get the honor of them getting taken away. Oh, sorry about that. Does that make sense? God, no. Am I long-term bullish on MGM? Nope. I'm just going through some assignment stuff here, folks. One more time. She was assigned 9,300 shares because of a bull put spread. I legged into an iron condor on MGM last week. I thought it was kind of hanging in a range. I was teaching Jack about iron condors and stuff like that. It was hanging, bam. It was a Thursday. It was remember, the wizism with iron condors. Iron condors are great until when? They're not. Iron condors, you won't make any money in an iron condor if the stock is doing this, flat. If it's doing this, a little bit of money, but you're not going to get paid to do nothing, folks. You get paid to take risk. So I thought this was kind of flat for a nice 2 weeks, and then iron condors are great until they're what? Not. So 9,300 shares, woke up in her account long. Okay. So, and I was like, again, I'll tell you when shit's luck versus experience or skill or anything like that. Guess what happened? Monday, Tuesday, or Friday, a little bit of return and stuff like that. So she sold 50 with 5,000 shares left. She sold 50, essentially at the money, or no, what did she sell? The 16s. So assigned at 15.67. The 16. If it's up at $16, I think that's where she put her bull put spread last week. Super fun, fantastic. So she's actually looking profitable on MGM. So again, do not freak See, look at this. I mean, she turned a massive losing trade into now MGM is actually positive. How's she looking on MGM for the year? Yeah, I mean, look at that. MGM for the year is $7,600. So again, the you need to not freak out about assignment. Oh, it was Apple? Well, that was stupid. Still proves my point, actually. So, boom, there's your bounce. You know what? That's right. Last week, it kind of, and this was a melted frog. This was a slow descent. This was a bad. This is bad training on me and my boy, because this was a slow descent in the mountains. Needed to eject out of this trade. That was bad. Right here was where I should have. And then I'm like, it was Wednesday, and then Thursday, bang. I'm like, shit. Or no, Friday, whenever that was. And then it turns around. That's luck, guys. This ain't no skill in that. Usually my luck would have been that the thing would have kept doing that. It didn't. So to answer the earlier question, am I long-term bullish on MGM? God, no. I couldn't be more long-term bearish, at least through the election. Did everybody see what Bill Gates said the other day? It looks like this COVID will start disappearing towards the end of 2020. I'm like, I posted on the TGO Facebook page. I'm like, you mean after the election? They're already kind of setting it up that later in the year we should all be good to go. Yeah, exactly. Fauci's prepping the battlefield. Martin, the strikes on the Tesla puts were in the other account, whatever they were, 1,100. I forget what they were. Whatever tests down at the 50-day moving average, I put them, I think. Let's see if these things are working yet. Nope. Let's go pull it up here. Tesla. Yeah, it's the 50-day moving average today is 1139 because we're up $44. So yesterday, the 50-day moving average was down at 1100. If we're going to get some big correction in Tesla, the next, this has been hovering over the 50-day moving average. The technicians will tell you it's, quote, overextended. And they do some math with base carry the 1 and the square root of pi. If it's overextended for X amount of time, it's like 98% of the time it pulls back. I'm like, we used to burn witches too. I usually don't listen to that stuff. This is just more of a between now and election day, something's going to happen, guys. I'm telling you. Did you not see the Attorney General hearing yesterday? If you don't think Democrats will do what the one idiot, was she from Pennsylvania or was she the Georgia lady too? Mr. Attorney General, do you have any evidence that any of our adversaries could make fraud ballots and use them? He's like, do I have any evidence? No, I have common sense. It was perfect. So the same party that was frothing at the mouth about Putin and interfering in our election with Facebook ads don't think that the Chinese or me with my printer can make up fake ballots or something like. Come on, man. Broward is right down the street. Everybody remember that human piece of feces, Broward commissioner lady, the voting lady? The governor eventually fired her. But we found some ballots in the closet, in somebody's rental car. And what are you going to do? Governor's got to fire me. She wouldn't answer. Oh, she was a disgusting person. Just outright criminal fraud. Unbelievable. Rick, what kept you from selling those assigned shares right at the open? Was it up pre-market? It did. It was up. And not only that, yeah, so this was assignment happened on Saturday, right? That's when options settle. Market opened up Monday morning, and so did MGM. I'm like, okay, well, this is good. Let's come on, boy. Let's sell some let's sell the 16s. This would be great. So that's all luck, guys. That isn't, and sometimes with assignment, it is luck, right? Do I distrust mail-in voting? Of course I distrust mail-in voting. It's not even anecdotal. So Facebook, a lady posted that her dog got a ballot. It's mail-in voting. The only mail-in voting that should be allowed in this country is for the United States military. And does everybody remember what Barack Hussein Obama's administration did to ballots in Afghanistan. Anybody want to hear that story about Air Force transport jets transporting ballots over to Afghanistan being ordered to sit on the ramp? They were delayed, so they weren't counted. They were not allowed to be counted. Don't talk to me about mail-in ballots, man. It's a disgrace. The men and women in Afghanistan and Iraq, their votes were not counted in the election, and it was done on purpose. People should have been arrested. It's a disgrace. But America, right? All right, let's kind of review what we did last week. I think we talked through this. We got long, some volatility. We did the bear call spread on FXI. This is a good. I'd stay if you're. We're not doing anything. We're not doing anything else. If you want to go international, I mean, we haven't talked FXI or I'm sorry, EWZ for a while, but FXI, I got to be honest with you, man. They're kind of ignoring our earnings. This is an international. This is a news story trade. This is a holy crap trade. We all knew this was going to happen. This again, no skill involved here. Gap, hang, burner trade. That's a no-brainer. We knew. I mean, that's just. Could it have kept doing that? Yeah. Have I ever seen that? No, unless it's Tesla. FXI ain't Tesla. So if you're itching for a trade, I have no problems being bullish on FXI here. Oh my God, Wiz, you scared the shit out of me about China and us going to war. Yeah, it's most likely going to happen. It ain't happening anytime soon. And one more time, look at where FXI comes back to almost all the time. That's not coincidence, folks. There's people who see this and go, well, so I don't mind a bull put spread here. Let's take a look at EWZ. I'm actually going down. It's Wednesday, so I got my Mafia dinner tonight down in Fort Lauderdale. Going to see a couple of my Brazilian buddies that trade the Bovespa. This is also, I got to be honest with you, man. And how much have you heard? Bolsonaro, you ready for this? The guy's tested positive 3 times for COVID. Here's how stupid I am. I would have believed that would have happened. Got that wrong. Well, didn't put any money up on it, but this is also a stock that seems to be hovering above its 50-day moving average. Okay, so and can't believe I'm going to say it. This is almost a pairs trade. I thought you said the other day, Wiz, all the pairs trades are breaking down. In America, I'm talking international. If something super horrific, bad, fun, happy time happens with China, Brazil will benefit. They haven't bought a single grain of wheat or soybean from one of our farmers ever. Well, years ago they did. You think China is going to buy anything from us? You're high. Okay. So I brought this up the other day on our call, and people were like, people were lukewarm to it. I'm like, I think I would be a buyer of EWZ calls, man. You want a little bit of a lottery ticket, and maybe we do this as a momentum trade tomorrow morning. I get it, man. I got all the Brazilian, the WhatsApps, and I talked to folks here, down there, and it's a wave, right? I mean, leaving Lifetime Fitness today. Again, breaking news, or what's her name on CNBC. Florida, for the second day in a row, has had massive amount, whatever the number was. And I'll be Gordon Gekko right now. I did 1,500, whatever it was. I got the roof down on my car. I had a good workout, made $4,200 on Microsoft this morning. I don't care. So the more that they froth at the mouth about how bad it is in Florida, I don't see any of it. So you ready for this? The WTF indicator. Friday, I'm flying with Orestes. I'm actually going to be in his jet, and a MiG-17, and I think another L-39. So I'm flying Friday, man. Flying Friday, going to the beach. I just don't, at the beginning, I had some people impacted by it. The people my buddy that owns that 88-foot Pershing, Amora, they got hammered. They got it at the Trump thing. 2 weeks, they're up in vertical. So I knew a couple people at the beginning. I got to be honest with you. I don't know anybody currently. The beginning seemed like But I don't know. It's just something. And remember the death rates, folks. I shared with you last week. Dude in Palm Beach motorcycle crash, completely disgusting crash. Whatever it was in Palm Beach investigated COVID. They dug deeper. Like almost every death in Palm Beach County for the past couple months has been COVID. Guy committed suicide. COVID. It's not a meme anymore. It's not a joke. That's what's going on. So as this stuff's happening, I'll get to my point in a second here. I tune out. That's what I'm saying as kind of rambling commit criteria with EWZ out until like the fall would be. It's it, how's it going to get worse? The president's tested 3 times positive down there. The hospitals are over. It will either herd immunity, pass something, as Bill Gates and Fauci are starting to wink at right now. Like, well, we project maybe later in the year it might be really better. Oh, really? That's odd. So when the pandemic is over on November 4th, what's everybody going to do? So a lot of rambling, a lot of talk. What am I getting at? I don't, shockingly, I don't mind being a little bit of bullish on EWZ, man. And as we know, as you guys know, and we made that shift down here, guys, right? I was doing the bearish right about here. What did I report to you? The lady that owns Amora, that nice Persian yacht, who was engaged to the finance minister for 14 years, I got it. I guess that's secondhand, that they're buying stock. Remember, folks, Petrobras, Vale, Banco de Brazil, most of the names in the EWs, the Bovespa, the government's buying the stock. Oh my God, I'm shocked. You were doing that. You just don't know about it. Or you do since you're here. You'll find out about it. So, since we kind of called the bottom-ish, plus or minus, I don't know, a week, that's not a V, but that's a recovery, man. So if you are looking for, since we're in accelerated retirement, and I got to get back on looking kind of downrange on this, the only downrange thing I'd kind of be looking at right now would be this, would be an EWZ. We'll get this time next week, folks. It'll be fantastic. We'll know Apple earnings. We'll know Amazon earnings. We'll know how the market reacted to it. Tomorrow is the biggest earnings day I've seen in a very, 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 very long time. Absolutely stunning. Everybody I talk to is like, oh, on Jolt Cola and no sleep, on taking NoDoz like college. But since we are in AR, maybe we do throw some calls on. Because, and this is, like I said, it's kind of a pairs trade. If US China goes south, I'm working on this chapter in my book, man, the phase 1 trade deal that I'll never forget watching. I watched it with you guys. That phase 1 signing ceremony in the East Room, whatever it's called. And just the president, his victory lap for over an hour. What was it, like an hour and 10 minutes, man? This guy just pounded his own chest and how smart he is. And thank you, everybody. And that Prime Minister Liu He sat there with this look on his face like, what is happening here? So yeah. I saw that, Leonard. I saw that the other day, man. Yeah, according to federal election records, 8,000 CDC employees gave money to political parties. 8,000 federal employees who work for the Centers of Disease Control. 5 out of 8,000 went to Republicans. You're not going to tell me there's nothing wrong with this? Oh my God, Rick, I'm so sorry to hear that. Are you serious? My dad in Houston just died last month from multiple infections, organ failure, and Alzheimer's. Christ almighty. But because he was in a nursing home, they labeled it as a COVID death. My mom was so upset and insisted they change the death certificate, but the only way they would if she ordered an autopsy and she couldn't bear the thought of doing that. So it stayed as a COVID death. Rick, first of all, my brother, I'm sorry for your loss. And second of all, man, holy shit. That is, that's insane. There you go, folks. Not our Karen, all the other Karens out there, folks. This is just, that's a disgrace. This country, man. Absolutely heartbreaking, man. Sorry about that. Whew. Exactly. That's what we've come to. Well, folks, each hospital gets like 39 grand whenever they report a COVID, whatever, they get like a $39,000 at least little piece of per diem. Exactly, Ray. I got doctor buddies who tell me that. They're like, dude, I got a doctor buddy, the guy I fly the L39 with. He's like, the only way we can do elective surgery, wink, is if it's COVID related. So he's back to doing hip replacements because if they don't get it, they'll die from COVID. Signature. I makes my skin crawl. All right, yeah. So we could drag race a trade, or we could do that. We could do a synthetic stock position. So since we are in accelerated retirement, let's do this. Let's go out, man. You know what? Jan 21. Why? Potential shit show in the fall, which, as I've rambled through, could actually benefit FXI. If it's a China shit show, they ain't buying anything from us. And dudes like me and ladies like me on Friday night, money's got to flow somewhere. So I will continue to pump, and I'll find out tonight that, hey man, if this is going to get ugly with China, why don't we all invest in Brazil? Oh, yeah, exactly, Karen. It's the same thing. Yeah, in the FAA, aircraft mechanics, kind of a little duct tape on that, safe for flight. I mean, that's how the F-14 Tomcat flew. So I'd go. You could, going out to January 21 gives us time in case there is, Wiz, you were wrong. Everything's shit to bed with a drink issue. Okay, well then that gives us a couple months to recover. But it also gives us a couple months when Donald Trump's reelected to have a November, December, Santa Claus rally, right? If Donald Trump wins, folks, do you think, when's the inauguration, January, whatever, do you think on that day the Chinese go, we're best friends again, and phase 2 trade deal, man, let's buy soybeans? It's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, if he does win, or when he does win, maybe that's the move on Taiwan. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, what am I smoking? I'm smoking weed, baby. What, you don't think Trump's going to win? I don't know, Nestor. I don't know if Trump's going to win. I told you guys, I'm a 50 Delta right now. I have no idea. I have no idea. All right, so let's do some synthetic stock, man. How do we do synthetic stock? We sell a put and we buy a call with the same expiration and same strike. You take a look at the picture, boom, synthetic stock. The bottom line is long stock, the top line is the options position. Anybody see any similarity in the two? It's the same thing, except you ain't coming out a ton of money to buy the shares in this ETF, right? So, I'll go through it again real slow here. We'll do just one for educational purposes. If you sell a put, what are you? You're bullish, right? When you sell the 33 put here, because that's closest to, we don't have a strike right now, folks, that is the $33.35 strike. Whatever's closer to 33, 35, it's the 33s. So me selling this put means what? I don't think EWZ is below 33 by January 21. January 21. Will there be flying cars? Will that COVID be gone? Well, it's almost like, my God, thinking this far into the future is creepy, isn't it? Years ago in accelerated retirement, we'd be going out 2 years on trades. We'd have trades on for 2 years and leapfrog them when the new option series came out. This has been insanity. So bullish, selling a put. bullish, buying a call. That makes sense. Okay. Now this is a debit, right? Sometimes you can do synthetic stock and actually make it a credit. Let's go down to the 32 strike. Yeah, 33. That's close. That's better. Okay, so obviously when we click on the analyze tool here, the max potential loss is 3,300 bucks. Okay, we're talking about one contract. That is going to impact your margin, right? E-Trade, Mike will tell you, hey man, if you sell a put, we're going to haircut you as if we're going to your margin requirements are going to be as if this EWZ is going to zero. Can it? Sure it can. Will it? No. If the EWZ is at zero by January 2021, a nuke went off and we're all dead, you ain't going to care about your portfolio anyway. Technically, the EWZ can go to zero too, because why? Anybody see the word right in front of it? iShares. We all know our little famous friendly Wharton professor. That's kid stuff. At Wisdom Tree, we blow up 2 of our oil ETFs, and we're still invited on as a guest on CNBC. It's an ETF, folks. You can get an email one day from your broker or iShares saying our ETF shut down and your money's evaporated. That can happen. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the point in Top Gun Options history where I remind you, if you can trade an index over an ETF, do it. I don't, you know what? Maybe I'll ask Mike. I know at Interactive Bro, if you can trade the Bovespa directly, trade the Bovespa directly. If you can't, you use EWZ. This is why I trade SPX and not SPY, right? Better tax treatment, and an ETF settles in what? Cash money. You ain't going to wake up Saturday morning hungover and go, crap, I'm assigned long shares of EWZ or short of the Bovespa, right? All right, so you don't run the risk of assignment in shares. It's cash, okay? Rick, nope. If an ETF goes out of business, your puts aren't worth anything either. All right, so let's put on a disaster put. What's a disaster would be if the Bovespa implodes 20%. 3 and 3 is 6. What's that? 27 bucks. That's just me using Kentucky windage. Somebody else can literally do it. Maybe we buy the 26 puts. Okay. Well, now we're coming out of pocket with $130 more. We were only spending 20 bucks. Now we're spending 150. Okay. But what did I do? If you noticed, before I added the disaster put, our haircut was over $3,000. Or not our haircut, I'm sorry. Our max potential loss, our max risk was $3,000, man. Now it's 850. I slashed that thing, man. I burned it to the ground. Why? Because even if the EWZ does go to zero, we don't care. Well, we probably would care, but we don't care below our disaster put because we're long puts underneath that. Okay? I've actually made money before. We had like Apple synthetic stock on years ago. I had like disaster puts at 90 or 100, and it went down to that. I'm like, oh my God. I bought the put. I sold the puts to close, made some money, bought more Apple because I knew the thing wasn't going out of business. Okay. What could we also do to make a little scratch in synthetic stock? We could also sell an upside, a front month call. Looks like, we kind of broke through, or yeah. Maybe you sell like an upside call out the Friday, the 33.5s or something like that, if you think it's going to move sideways. We could make this a synthetic covered call. Sell a July 31st, 33.5. Wow, Wiz, instead of coming out of pocket 150, selling that short call brought in 39 bucks. You bet it did. I like this trade. I am actually going to do this trade. File, save as, EWZ. It's today's date, 12/7/29. All right, I like this trade. This is good. If you don't want to put a cap on it for this week, put a cap in it. Don't sell the upside call. You don't have to sell upside calls, man. And in full throttle, we can EWZ 729, whatever. You can. You don't have to, right? If you think something's just going to keep going up here. Remember, this is a walk it on up trade, man. You're going to have to you're not going to get filled at $1.12. You'll definitely get filled at $1.21, and you'll be a fool unless you want a super awesome get filled on that, do that. No, there's a place in between the bid and the ask. I'm going to go right there for now, fire that, and then kind of actually not go for a walk or get a cup of coffee, because I'm going to, if this thing kicks off at 1, I'm going to be sitting here watching it. But that's what you kind of have to do. I'm going to sit here, watch it. Okay, no, I'm not getting filled on it. Not getting filled on it. Let's go ahead and maybe go up a penny. That's what I do. Okay. You can also do this, folks. You can just do the synthetic stock with the disaster put, and then maybe sell the upside call as a separate, get filled on the base trade first, and then add the short call. It's up to you. 6 of one, half dozen the other. Okay. That's the only thing. Will you roll this week's short 33.5 on Friday? Kathleen, I don't know. If on Friday it's below 33.5, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to let it expire worthless. If it's above 33.5 and I want to keep the synthetic stock position back, I'll either buy those short calls back, or you could potentially roll them. Remember, and go watch the full throttle training, folks, on covered calls. This is a must. The way I deal with short calls is this, on synthetic stock, is shockingly exactly what I do with the covered call. There ain't no difference when to take profits, when to do everything. So let me pull this up and just put this on your plate right now. Watch the covered call full throttle brief. That is a requirement. It'll show you how I manage short calls, whether it's synthetic stock, a long call diagonal, or a covered call. This is a must. If you have any questions about what I do with front month upside calls and what my rule for selling them is, how far out of the money. Okay. Okay. Bill, I don't know if his Kathy, I'm still working on it, man. I'm trying to get out to California. I don't think it's going to work. So it'll full throttle probably be in the next couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks. I wanted to get away, man, but I actually was going to drive instead of flying. I was going to drive my car from South Florida to Big Sur, California, and I heard, at least on I-95 in Jacksonville, the state police are stopping cars without. I don't know if I'd be able to make it to California without getting with a Florida license plate, thrown in jail or into quarantine. Well, I'm on it. In the meantime, watch the previous ones. Okay. Okay, good. Yep. All right. I'm gonna let you guys go because I want to get on this and watch this. I'll probably over here in Max, and if there's any trades to be having, because I'm going to be up my other group meeting with the other group, and if I'm seeing any good trades, I'll throw them over the fence there. Okay. Awesome. All right, folks. I'll get this trade here posted and the replay posted shortly as well. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, we will go ahead and throw them in the ready room. All right. Okay, guys, have a great rest of your day. I'll see you to make sure you're here tomorrow morning for the debrief, the weekly debrief. We got a lot to cover tomorrow morning. Okay. All right, guys. Cheers. Make sure you're watching the hearing here in a couple minutes, and also the Fed at 2 o'clock. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. God bless.